Hey, so right now I'll be watching My Happy Marriage, episode 3. And if it isn't already obvious, I'm pretty much watching these first 3 episodes on the same day, so I'm really liking the series so far. Now with that being said, on to the episode. Hi, Tonya. Hello. Why not? But he's asking you to go with him. Not interesting that they're fiancés yet this is their first date. That's a mirror?
ミオ様、お化粧はされませんか？私、あまりお化粧したことがなくて。ゆりえにお任せくださいな。では、おしろいを塗っていきますから、少し目をつぶっていてくださいますか？
Watch Kudo say you don't need to wear all that makeup. Oh, it looks so nice with her eyes. She looks so much more alive now.
素敵なミオ様を見たら、坊ちゃんはどんな顔をなさるんでしょうね。
His eyes! I love it when they move like that. He drives! Workplace! Oh, I keep forgetting he does work. What if she sees Koji and Kaya there? I mean, I doubt it, but what if? Yeah, they're gonna see his fiance. They're gonna walk there or what? I knew it! But why though? My companion. He's probably not too happy about that. Godo.
買いたいものや欲しいものはないのか？はい、特には欲しいものなんて全然思いつかない。
I feel like I recognize her voice.
そうか。では、私の買い物に付き合ってもらおう。
Don't tell me he's gonna buy her clothes or something.
楽しいか？
That's true, she's never been out of the house before.
気にすることはない。好きなだけそれを咎めたりはし。
Oh. He smiled!
考える必要はない。お前を誘ったのは他でもない。
Exactly. He asked you to go with him. So it's okay. I love this.
はぐれるなよ。気をつけます。よろしい。この人のどこが冷酷無慈悲なの？
Exactly.
こんなにお優しいのに。
話が違うだろう。
話とは？
とぼけるな。なぜうちの長男にと頼んだ。
ああ、そのことか。ちょうど工藤家からも
Who proposed the marriage?
娘を母に持つのだぞ。
Usuba family.
だとしても、ミオの子が薄葉の
そうのか。
茶の中でも特別なものだぞ。これ以上工藤家が強くなれば、
ミオに異能がないと知れば、どうせ
Damn.
た暁にはそちらで嫁に迎えればいい。もらえるとなれば。
I don't think so.
いくら下の娘が可愛くとも、金の卵を産むかもしれないミオ。
Right?
放り出すなど
Okay, well, I suppose looking at it that way, yeah.
サイモリ家は今後一切
さも同然の娘だ。どこでどうしようが生きていようが。
そうかサイモリ家は今後一切
さも同然の娘だ。どこで
That child, really?
いようが死んでいようが。
そうか了解したサイモリミオを手に入れるのは毛などに奪われてたまるか
お父様たちは何をお話になっているの？詳しくは存じませんが。はあ？どうしてお姉様の名前が出てくるの？
かや、そんなに大きな声出すもの。
浩二さん、私にお説教する。今さらお姉様について何を話すことがあるっていう。
ああ、そう言わずに。せっかく天気もいいし。
Are they gonna see each other?
先週開店したっていう。
どうせやることもないし行きましょう。今だってお姉
Of course he would.
けでのたれ死んでるかもしれないっていうのに。あ、本当に面白くないわ。
ここは鈴島屋といって工藤家が昔からひいきにして
Oh, cool.
帝のお召し物を仕立てること。
Ooh.
すごいお店なのですね。
They look like smiley faces.
今日は世話になる。
He requested in advance.
そういうことでは。
恥ずかしがらなくてもよろしいんですよ。工藤様が女性を連れてくるなんて初めてじゃありませんか。
それは
じゃあ、どうやらミオ様は古着をご自分で作られているようなのです。お声掛けしようかと思ったのですが、あまり知られたくないご様子でしたので。
地方の貧しい農民かと思う。異端の古着。
That's a bit harsh, but true.
まともな着物はあれ一着。メーカー年頃の令嬢ならば当然持ちうるもの。彼女はほとんど持ち合わせていない。
Mm-hmm.
工藤様、
ああ、すまない。彼女にはどんなものが合うだろうか。
あのお嬢様にはこういった淡い色がお似合いになると思いますよ。
Soft colors.
こちらやこんな組み合わせ。
あれは
Oh, there we go.
あちらもとても上等なお品ですわね。でも今から仕立てるとなると少し季節が合わなくなるかもしれませんけれど。
I'm glad he chose a fabric for her, though. Oh, he sees her among cherry blossoms.
いかがですか。
これで一つ仕立ててくれ。他にもこの中からいくつか仕立てても。
かしこまりました。こちらは今日お持ち帰りでよろしかったですか。
ああ、もらっていく。
工藤様。
なんだ。
Is that for the engagement?
様は絶対に話し
Even she's Team Mio.
計り知れないほどの伸びしろがございます。今日お買い上げくださった品々は始まりに過ぎません。これからそうすれば
そうすれば。
美しい女性を遠慮なく着飾る楽しみが生まれます。
She liked that kimono? He inadvertently chose a kimono that reminded her of her mother.
どうだ。お前は本当に笑わない。
That's true.
笑っているところを。
Aww. A bit strange.
私は怒ってなどいない。だからそんな風に小さくなるな。私たちはこのまま行けば結婚する仲だ。思ったことは何でも言い合える方がいいだ。
うん。
私もお前が素直。謝罪ではなく。
結婚する仲
He's not gonna throw you away.
と知らない私が何も持たなくても少しでも長くこの人どんな罰でも受けます。
For a small piece of happiness.
お願いします。その日まで。あら坊ちゃま、ミオ様ならお風呂ですよ。
ゆりえ、まだ
Get in your way or what? Right?
それは
Oh, okay. I thought he put it outside the bath, but he put it outside her room. He made her a new brush. Or he bought her a new brush.
おとなしくもらっておけ。
His first gift to her.
気にすることはないだろう。
ですが、
気にするな。
置いたのは旦那様ですよ。火を送るということに
特に深い意味はない。
求婚されるのですね。
特に意味はないと言って。
Mm-hmm.
そうですよ。血を使っていらっしゃいましたし。ミオ様は今までうちにお越しになられたどの女性とも違います。
I love how she's so team Mio.
きっと喜んでくださいますよ。
She probably thought he would never get married.
遠慮せず使ってくれ。
ありがとうございます。旦那様。
I love that he's having more of those reactions with her now.
まあよくある異能のお家騒動ってところだろうな。
だとしても度を超えている。少なくとも名家の者のする振る舞いではない。
義理の母であるサイモリか。もともと子いなくなったサイモリ氏
自分を虐げるママ母と妹、愛のない父親、その中で一人か。彼女の心の傷を癒すことなど到底できそうにないね。
Kochi, maybe?
母親なんだが、どうやら薄化けの人間だったようで。
How prominent is that family? Don't tell me he's gonna think that's why. Oh. Oh, that is cool. But they're paper, though.
愚かな、くだらないことをする。
Well, it doesn't mean they can't be dangerous.
しかし、どこの誰の仕業か。
So it looks like we finally found out why Mio's father treated her the way that he did. And I'm not sure if it's intentional or not, though probably not, but her father's history with both Mio's stepmother and Mio's birth mother really reminds me of what happened with the royal family back when Charles and Diana were married. Since in this anime, Mio's father was always in love with Mio's stepmother, but due to his family, they forced him to marry another woman and have a child with her instead, considering the fact that she was from the very prominent and very powerful Usuba family. And of course, he would grow resentful of that because he was forced to marry somebody he didn't love, and of course, he did not love the child that was born out of their union. Of course, no excuse for how he treated Mio, but it does sort of explain why he is the way that he is. And the reason why it really reminded me of Charles and Diana is because a sort of similar thing happened, where it said that Charles was super in love with Camilla, and they were together for many years until he was married to marry Diana. And from what we're told, the union wasn't always happy, since Camilla was always in the picture, and how she put it, there were always 3 in the marriage. So she never really escaped Camilla, and he always pined after her, and it was only until after Diana sadly passed away that he was finally able to marry Camilla. Since although they were divorced, they still had that long place where you couldn't remarry while your ex was still around. And I'm not saying that something shady happened around Princess Diana's death, but the fact that Diana passed away, it did clear the only obstacle for him to marry Camilla. But of course, he doesn't mistreat his children, nor did he have any children with Camilla afterwards, because already at that point, they were already too old to have kids. And she already had a few kids from her first marriage. And for that reason, they remind me of Mio's dad and stepmom. There was always somebody else her father loved, but they couldn't be together due to his family. Now, having said that, when it comes to Mio's mother, I do wonder if she either passed away due to illness or somehow a mysterious fire happened, since one of the first scenes from the first episode is showed a fire happening around the tree in the house. Or maybe that was just meant to represent the hell that she had to endure in that house. Or maybe Mio's mother had an accident and she just ended up passing away from it. It's still unclear exactly how Mio's mother died, just that she did pass away, and shortly after, he was finally able to bring in his ex-lover into his family and have a daughter with her instead, which also could explain his favoritism towards Kaya. Although it was stated that after it was found that she didn't have the spirit sight, that's when he started to mistreat Mio. But also the fact that Kaya is the only daughter that he has with the woman that he loves, and Mio is with the woman he was forced to marry, it's a given that he would prefer Kaya to Mio, since Mio just reminds him of the woman he was forced to marry. where Kaya reminds him of the woman that he always wanted to marry but couldn't, until he finally was able to. That would also explain Mio's stepmother's hateful attitude towards her and all of Mio's mother's things, since it would always be a reminder of the woman who stole her man away from her. And of course, she wouldn't want to have those things around the house. And I get maybe putting them away, but to go into Mio's room where all her things were and throw those specific things away, plus crush her comb, that's just being an awful person. Not to mention that her stepmother isn't even from a prominent family. Her stepmother just seems to be normal, whereas Mio's mother came from a super prominent family where the bloodline is highly sought after. But not even Mio's father cared about that, nor if she lives or dies, just that she's no longer in his house. I'm really happy seeing the progress that Kuro's making with Mio, and vice versa, since Mio seems to keep making impressions upon Kuro since his eyes keep doing that movement thing, and I believe it happened at least 2 or 3 times in this episode alone. So it's nice to see that he's warming up to her, and he's helping her become more confident in herself, to stop apologizing so much, to it's okay to ask for things, to be honest with him. They're gonna be married soon, so you have to have honesty and be upfront with the other person if you're gonna be married to them. So he doesn't want her to always be apologizing and just holding her head down. He wants her to actually say that she wants things. And I'm glad of the coincidence that he happened to choose a pattern and color for a kimono that will always remind Mio of her mother, and that he actually envisions her surrounded by cherry blossoms. I'm really glad that he tried to take her shopping, since one, it shows that he does care about her and wants her to have nice things. Not to say that her old clothes were like terrible to have, but since he has the money and the option to go to town and take her with him, why not just go and buy her new clothes? That doesn't mean she can't wear her old clothes, but since they're super worn out and she just keeps sewing them over and over again, it's about time that she gets a new wardrobe, because that could also help her gain confidence. Since the fact that she's always wearing those clothes, that Kuro even said that's not even good enough to be considered normal clothing, it would undoubtedly help her self-esteem and her self-confidence to be wearing really fancy new kimonos. And I was really hoping that Koji and Kaya would see Mio and Kuro in town, because I'm assuming they go to the same town. They might live on different sides, but at the very least they go to the same town, and if they go at the same time, they might see each other. I was really hoping they would see each other, but also I do think it might be too soon for them to see each other. But it would also at the very least help Koji realize that she's doing okay, that she doesn't need to be saved. And also just stick it to Kaya that look, she got the better husband. Again, I'm not dissing Koji, but I'm just saying that Kuro's a really good husband. I also find it interesting that Kaya still refers to Mio as elder sister. I would have thought she would just call her Mio, or that girl or whatever, but she actually does refer her with, I believe, the honorific for elder sister. So that small detail kind of stuck with me. I was like, oh look, she actually calls her elder sister. She doesn't just call her Mio or something. So I just thought that was interesting. And Kaya being spoiled and acting super entitled and everything, it really reminded me of the sister from Taisho Otome Fairy Tail. Since the main male lead has brothers and sisters, and one sister in particular is super spoiled, and she's super entitled, and she's also super mean to the main female lead. But the difference between her, and I guess up until this point Kaya, because she might change but I highly doubt it, is the fact that his younger sister does change. She changes her ways, she becomes nicer, to the point where even she no longer wants to just be maintained by her family. She actually wants to become a doctor and help people. She does change drastically in the story, but I don't see the same thing happening for Kaya, at least not now. I also can't believe how indirect Kuro seems to be. First with the lie, saying that Yurie would be late the next day, so if Mio could take care of the cooking for him, and of course it turns out Yurie never said that. She was actually early because she anticipated that since it was so awkward the day before, she wanted to make sure it didn't happen again the following day. But that was Kuro's indirect way of asking her to make food for him, on top of already apologizing for not accepting her food. So that was one of the first indirect things that he did. The second one being is the fact that he already requested in advance kimonos to be made for Mio, which I found was a sweet detail, that when they went to the store, he was like, okay, I'll have those ready plus the ones you already requested beforehand. And I was like, oh, look at him being proactive. He ordered them ahead of time. That was nice of him to do, and the fact that he actually chose the fabric for her himself, that was nice too. It shows that he really is caring about her. And on top of all that, he even got a comb for her, which apparently is the same thing as a marriage proposal. How exactly, I don't know. Maybe it has to do with the significance of one's hair? But it's really nice though that this is also his indirect way of proposing marriage to her. Nice in the way that it's very Kuro-like because he's very indirect, but also why can't he just come out and say it? Why can't he just propose to her? But on the other hand, the fact that she believes that once he finds out that she doesn't have any supernatural abilities, that he'll just throw her away. But now that we know that he does in fact know that she doesn't have any supernatural abilities, or at the very least that they know of, he's still okay with marrying her. But he did say that line that ever since she came into his life, things have been different. So I'm just thinking, he's not gonna think that she's doing it on purpose, right? That she's altering his mind on purpose. I mean, at least I hope not. That would be a thing to assume, but I hope he doesn't assume that. So I'm really interested to see how their relationship progresses. And also how Koji and Kaya progress too. If they get better, if they get worse. And again, I was really hoping they would see each other in the market, but it just wasn't meant to be this time. Since the opening song did show them crossing paths at one point when they're in town. That's why I thought maybe it would happen this episode, but also I feel like it's too soon. So it kind of fits that it doesn't happen right now. I also really like the opening song. It seems really nice, really sweet. Definitely very colorful. And it does show quite a bit, and even slightly spoils that Kuda actually is a nice man before we actually see him be a nice man. Although again, the title is My Happy Marriage, so that was already an indication in and of itself, so. Now having said all that, I really can't wait to see what happens in the next episode.